Okay, here we are. And we've been having some technical difficulties. Thank you all for being patient with us. As soon as I went on and started out, my computer started freezing and locking up. I had to leave the studio and come back in. But we're good. And it's great to be with you on another Monday morning edition of Let Us Reason Together. And so we've got a great show planned for you today. I want to go ahead and bring in Eddie and Tammy Johnson, that my co-hosts from the great state of Florida. Come on and join me. And it's great to be with y'all. Yes.
Yeah, there we go.
Squeeze together because somehow the layout is just a little bit different today. So we'll work through that. And so we've got, of course, our shower thoughts as normal, and we'll have the Torah portion here at the top of the hour, and then we'll be followed with the uncensored news at the next half hour. So, and we've got Sissy joining us.
Shira.
Oh, that's Shira. That's Shira joining. Yep.
Song.
She's quite just like loving where she's at, so that's good.
I'm telling you, she's a loving puppy, John. Yeah, this puppy will love you to pieces.
Well, she sure looks like a lover. That's always good.
She is. I'll tell you.
So, is she a heel biter though for strangers?
Oh no.
She would just crawl up in somebody's lap and just love on her.
You see what she just did? She just laid her head against Sammy. That's her. She is a lover, baby.
Yeah, she loves everybody.
She has the spirit of the Lord upon her. She is a lover.
But now Sissy, on the other hand, Sissy is a little bit more typical Chihuahua.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think that kind of runs along with the not the breed, because they're both Chihuahuas, but whether they're long haired or short haired, it seems like the long haired just are more temporal minded, and whereas the short hairs are more aggressive.
I gotta say, Papa gave us this dog, John.
Mm-hmm.
What a gift!
Yes, he did. Now Sissy said, "Oh, she's getting all the attention, so I got to get up there and get some attention too."
Yeah. You love her, Mom.
We're trying to teach Sissy to be more loving. But she's still a puppy, so she's more rambunctious.
What a thing to discuss on Cold Dough.
Well,
don't you love that?
So we'll get to Toldote here in just a little bit, and which, by the way, it is Toldote this week, and we'll get to that here in a minute. Also, I was just going to say we had a dog. Her name was Baby, and she was one that showed up at our house one day. She was underneath her van, and she had the same coloring as our Pomeranian. I was like, "What happened there?" And I looked under the van. I was like, "Wait a minute, you're not Missy, who is our Pomeranian." And so I got her out, and I think she had part Chihuahua in her, but she was a lover too. But this is why I said heel biter. We were trying to find a home for her. She was tick infested, and it was just really bad. And we got her all cleaned up, and we picked ticks off of her and dipped her twice. No. And all of that. She was really bad off. We think she was like in some maybe an older person's home, and she got out and got lost, and we couldn't find her home. We tried to find her a home, and we gave her to one lady. She was an elderly lady, and who called us a week later and said, "I can't keep her any longer." And we were like, "Why?" Because she's biting my man friend. And so what
good on her.
If she didn't like somebody, she didn't like somebody, she would go and try to bite their heel.
Oh yeah.
Oh, nipper, huh?
So, yeah. And so, and I mean, not hard, but she just didn't like them. And she wouldn't eat. She wouldn't eat for the lady for a week. And we went over there in the middle of the week and coaxed her to eat, and she finally started to eat. But she wouldn't eat after we left. So a week later, she said, "Come get her," because we told her, I said, if anything happens and doesn't work out, let us know. So we ended up keeping her the rest of her life. And so that's our part. Right? She was part Chihuahua. Yeah. But she was a long hair, and she was just like that. She loved to just get in your lap and cuddle.
Yep.
Oh man.
That's what Shira loves. Sissy's starting to get that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're a sweetie girl.
Because she trains. The younger picks up from the older, and this puppy is just pure love.
Yeah.
That's all I can say.
Yeah.
I've never been around a puppy so loving in all of my life as this little thing. And I do
dogs
love
are
it.
Great companions, they really are.
Yep.
I do. And this is
I mean, cats.
John, this is an appropriate discussion to have on Toldo if there was one.
Yeah.
Because these are what, third generation Chihuahuas with us.
Yeah, this is their third set. Yeah.
Third generation.
Good. Wow. Nice. Nice. Well, cats are great companions too. But it's on their time. Dogs are like anytime. But
John, I have somewhat to amplify on that in this upcoming Torah portion. Yeah, buddy.
All right.
Hey.
Well, it is time for us to hit some of these shower thoughts today, because I know everybody's waiting for it.
That's right.
I don't know. I'm just saying. But we like having a little bit of fun, a little bit of humor, kind of looking at the world like people don't want us to see the world. I'm just saying. All right, here we go. Here's some shower thoughts for the day. Now, of course, we don't do Christmas around here. We haven't done Christmas in well over a decade and longer. I mean, it's been a long time. But nevertheless, how about this thought for the day? Can't afford Christmas gifts for your family members this year? Bring up politics this Thanksgiving dinner and problem solved.
Amen.
You won't have much of a family left.
No.
That's right. Let's boy, I tell you what, okay, there's more to talk about that. But nevertheless, let's move on from that one. How about this one here? Uncle Sam, here's a Liberty pill to one of the masses, and it says reset and become a patriot.
Yeah.
Pill today. That's what we all need. And yeah, absolutely. Reset and become, because Klaus Schwab has wanted to say, wants the great reset and you'll own nothing and be happy. Well, we don't want to be, we don't believe in that philosophy, do we?
No.
Mm-mm.
All right. How about this one right here? Here's a thought. Here's a couple blocks here on this side. It says the wrong enemy. Okay, so keep this in mind. What's it saying? The non-rich, and then dominated by the rich. And just lots of people like to focus on the rich are the enemy. Well, no, this is the wrong enemy. Let's look at it this way. 2 blocks, it's just turned on its side. We have the rich and the non-rich. Who are they? People who use government to control you. And everybody else, which would include the rich and the non-rich, is people who allow other people to live in peace.
Yeah, really.
That's really a good way. I like that imagery right there, because it's not a domination of the rich versus the non-rich. It's about the people who use government to control us. And isn't that what society is a lot of what the battle is today, where we see just a domination of a particular group, and it's a smaller group. And yet if we think that they have dominance over us, they will.
Yep.
So anyway, just thought that was an interesting shower thought for today.
Well,
how about this
unfortunately, most of the masses that are being controlled don't realize they're being controlled.
That's sad, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the sad part.
Yeah. This next one here is 2 paths that we can take. Die a free man, or you can die as cattle under tyranny. Which path shall we choose?
Freedom.
Well, I know which path I'm going to go down. Yeah, absolutely.
Actually, they've got those on the wrong side of the graphic. It should be
left and right.
Yeah. Let's go to
Flip
the
that
right
around.
and die a free man.
Yes, that's truth. Isn't it interesting how they call it the right, and yet a synonym for right is correct.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Just a thought.
Yeah.
However, not on this path, not that path. We don't want to die as cattle under tyranny. But
No,
okay.
sir.
How about this one? Why would a fly land on something like this? And you see a little character here and the Venus flytrap plant. And how about this one? Rats should be ashamed for falling into this trap. Of course, it's a mouse trap. And here's another trap. Bears, this is ridiculous.
Mhm.
No, in other words, be situationally aware, right? Okay. But what about this trap? A 50-year mortgage? Yes, please.
It's bad enough having a 30-year mortgage.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it is. 50-year mortgage. I mean, just another way of
The bank should really jump on that, to be honest with you, because they're going to see a 5-time return instead of a 3 times return on their money.
isn't that right? Yep. And then of course these characters here, you're not making home ownership better with a 50-year mortgage. You're making debt slavery worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly. And I'm not going to show that one because that was inappropriate language for our shall we say family
Yeah, I
friendly.
might get that off of there too.
Yep. Okay. And so I'm going to take that one off, but I got more. Wait. Yes, there is more. And let me see if I can pull up the other set. That was, of course, from Robert.
John, you got him, baby.
John,
My passion covered the ground, buddy.
Get that off the screen, John.
Sorry.
Lord.
I have no idea because it covered my screen up, so I didn't know what I should. Oh, get that. It's frozen. No, be gone. That's bad.
There we go.
How's that? My computer took a while. I actually deleted it and it just froze into place.
Oh no.
Oh, goodness.
The enemy would do that, John.
I'm telling you. All right. Well, this one right here, let me see if I can zoom this one in. Is it still there?
No, I got rid of it. I got it off of you off of the stream anyway.
Oh my goodness.
Bless your past
now.
Don't use that slideshow on Sabbath for your Torah teaching.
No. Yeah, for sure. Okay, now let's bring this in. Okay. All right. So this is what I was trying to get to, and this is some more memes for you today because that one was short for the.
Can you enlarge
it? I can do it. I can enlarge it some more.
It's pretty.
Because I have to say
that. How about that?
That face shouldn't go with that body, I don't think.
Well, yeah, I mean, consider the kind of the whole picture that's being identified here. It says climate change vaccine. Climate change vaccine by sir. Okay. And the temperature dropped as soon as I got it.
Yeah, really.
Lord help us.
It is mindset.
Nothing like what really kind of speaks to the weirdness of our culture and the things that they are trying to put on us, like multiple layers here. Just saying, there's multiple layers in this meme. Yeah. All right. Okay. How about this? 97% of all scientists agree with the people funding them.
There you go.
Yeah. Yep. That is really true. And here's a meme. And it says here, we warned you about not, this is okay. So we got the mafia kind of guy, talking to a dude. And it says, we warned you about not paying your protection, Sammy. And he gets bonked on the head by a billy club. Who's a cop showing up in the picture? Oh gosh, thank you for saving me. I thought "Sir, I'm here to arrest you for tax evasion." Yeah, it's one extortion over another.
Truly.
Just saying. Yeah.
Wow.
Okay. Is it a one? Is it kind of like one side of the same coin?
Yeah.
How about this one here? This is kind of an interesting thing if you think about it. Of course, we got a guy here. He's sitting at a pub. Dog's drinking his pint on the bar, but he looks kind of wasted, and so he's saying the Middle East is one crazy place, huh? Well, the Middle East is one crazy place, eh? And Captain, this is London.
Yeah, really.
London.
Hey, they're
London.
still fighting in Rebecca's womb.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. This was an interesting video. I did watch it. It's good music, but we're not going to play it for sake of time today. But how about this one? The news is not about news anymore. It's about protecting some people, destroying others, and shoving a globalist agenda down the collective throats of America.
Yeah, that's for sure.
This is very interesting. You know, you think, why, if Project Mockingbird is still going on today, which I think it is, why? Because it's influenced by the deep state. And how in the world does the deep state still have control, give the talking points to the mainstream media? I don't know if anybody watches mainstream media anymore. I don't know anybody that watches mainstream. Well, no, let me just rephrase that. Some people watch mainstream media to see what the other people are saying, and there's a lot of boomers that still watch mainstream media. But did you realize that anything that's Generation Z and newer is Generation X and Z, millennials, they're not watching mainstream media. They're getting their news from streaming, social media. Yeah, that's exactly right. So mainstream media, I mean, I don't know why then, shall we say the Republican Party and President Trump actually would think about why would they want to use mainstream media as if to try to correct it or use it to their benefit, because nobody's watching it. Just saying. Okay, all right. So I know you guys are laughing in the background. Okay, what is this? Mom Donnie dethrones Gavin Newsom as U-Haul's top salesman.
That's too funny, John. That's too funny.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a lot of New York flight going on. People leaving that city. A lot of people leaving that whole state. Sad to say, New York used to be Republican. They used to have Republican government. They governor, their state legislature was Republican. And look what happens when you have electronic voting machines. Let me just put it that way. All right. Who's this? Nancy on her way out. She's taking the exit. Yeah, she bowed out this last week, and so she says, "I sacrificed so much to serve my country," as she leaves Washington, behind her, as she has her bags full of insider trading, $270 million SFO, whatever that is, but basically saying, yeah, she came to make some money, and she did.
And she did.
On the backs of American taxpayers.
God have mercy.
Here's her closet, the speaker's closet. After decades of service, Pelosi finally hangs up the broom.
Yes. Truly.
Yeah. Sad.
So sad.
Goodbye, Nancy.
Yeah. I'm glad she's gone. I wish it would have happened 20 years ago.
Oh, yes.
And so here we have the Democratic leadership. Looks like they're flying in the cash cow, and it's called Left Behind. Yep.
Is that supposed to be Bernie Sanders back
Left behind?
That's Schumer.
Okay.
That's Schumer. Yep, that's it. So, all right, no calls right now. All right, hey, it's time for Torah Portion.
Torah Portion.
Is it already?
Yeah, already. Yeah, technical difficulties, and it took up our time this morning. So yeah, I hope you had some good, some laughs on that this morning. All right.
Yeah,
Torah Portion
good,
for
boss.
today, Monday's edition. Told out.
Torah.
Good morning, everyone. We got to be real close this morning. I don't know why the cameras are messed up, but you know,
it's to bring it closer together.
Yeah, that's right.
They want closeness.
That's right. And welcome to Monday mornings, Monday mornings Torah Portion, which is Toldot, and Shabbat Shalom to those that are watching on Shabbat. And the Torah portion is Genesis 25:19 through 28:9. The prophet section is Malachi 1 through 2:7.
Malachi.
And the gospel section is Matthew 10:21 through 28.
Wow.
Can you believe this is the 6th Torah portion
since the
Sukkot? Wow. And it's named Toldot, which means generations, because of the first verse, which reads Genesis 25:19.
Okay. These are the generations of Isaac, Abraham's son. It says Abraham fathered Isaac.
Wow. Now that is a short genealogical list, when you say. But in the following chapters, we start to see the family tree begin to emerge.
Yes.
Isaac fathers 2 sons, Esau and Jacob. And this is the beginning of the multi-millennial struggle for possession of the birthright and promises,
which we just witnessed in the war of Israel trying to wipe out.
No, not it. Well,
Hamas.
Yes, Hamas and Hezbollah.
I mean, it's right here.
Yep. So if you've studied the Torah for very long, you are familiar with the story of how Isaac and Rebekah struggled with infertility. Perhaps after 18 years, Isaac finally seeks Yehovah about the inability of his wife to conceive. Isn't it interesting that it might be 18 years? What is the number 18 signify? High, which is life. And what happens?
Come on, body, quit burping. I'm sorry.
Genesis 25:21, please.
And Yitzhak prayed to Yehovah for a wife, because for his wife.
Not for a wife, for his
we
wife.
covered that last week.
Yeah, that's right.
Because she was barren, and Yehovah granted his prayer, and Rebekah, his wife, conceived. Oh, are we paying for it today?
Then the pregnancy was so traumatic, Rebekah inquires of Yehovah herself. Genesis 25:23.
Which is the only time. I'm sorry, guys. I hate it when my body yawns. At 72, I yawn almost on willy-nilly. It says, where am I at?
You're off the screen.
And Yehovah said to her, there are 2 nations in your womb. 2 peoples from within you shall be divided. The one shall be stronger than the other, and the older shall serve the younger.
Okay.
I don't know when I should insert this bit of local information into this Torah study.
Well, wait just a little bit.
But we got a yard full of Hittites, Jebusites, Canaanites, don't we, Mama? A yard full of them.
It's called cats, and they're always struggling for
supremacy.
Yes,
always trying to usurp the one that we're covenanted with to give the land to. Right on our back porch. Every day we witness these Torah portions come to life.
That's right. So in the blessing that is, did you read Genesis 25:23?
Yeah.
Okay. The older shall serve the younger. Well, we're reminded in Isaiah 46:11 what Yehovah says. I have spoken it. I will also bring it to pass. I have purposed it. I will also do it. So from the very beginning of the family tree, we can see how Yehovah is orchestrating this struggle between, if you will, good and evil.
And I want to make a comment on this. The entire world despises the will of the Father.
That's right.
And they don't want Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob settled in that land. And they're going to try and do everything they can to keep it from coming to pass. I hope we're listening.
That's right. The Torah doesn't mention that Abraham was actually still alive 15 years into the twins' lives. The sages teach that Jacob was preparing red lentil soup, which is the traditional mourner's meal for Isaac when Esau came in from the field, famished with hunger. And as the firstborn, Esau should have been the one preparing that meal, not out hunting in the field. So it is deduced that Esau despised his birthright, selling it to Jacob for a bowl of some translations say that red stuff.
It was a good little soup, I gotta say that.
I hope it was good, but
yeah. Oh, are we still paying for it today?
Oh, are we not? So now there's a famine in the land. Isaac decides, I'll head down to Egypt. Perhaps he knew of the prophecy given to his father, Abraham, in Genesis 15:13.
And he said, Abraham, I'm looking on yours. Know of a surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs, and shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years.
So maybe Isaac was thinking, okay, well, I guess it's a prophecy. It's going to come to pass, so let's get it on.
Who knows?
But so he contemplates going down to Egypt, and on the way, he heads over to Gerar and Abimelech, just as his father Abraham did. But wait, Yehovah stops him. Genesis 26:2-5. Wait. Over here. Don't
and Yehovah appeared to him and said, don't go down to Egypt. Dwell in the land of which I shall tell you. Sojourn in this land, and I will be with you, and I will bless you. For to you and to your offspring will I give all these lands, and will establish the oath that I swore to Abraham your father.
Okay, now I'm going to interject a little bit here, where I've got the I wills really emphasize that. Okay. Verse 4.
I will give all these lands, and I will establish the oath that I swore to Abraham your father. And I will multiply your offspring as the stars of the heaven, and will give your offspring these lands. And your offspring, and in your offspring, all nations of the earth shall be blessed. Because Abraham obeyed my voice, kept my charge. Oh, baby, thank you, Father. My commandments, my statutes, and my law, my Torah.
That's right. So wait a minute. There are 6 I will statements in there. Did you notice that?
Nope.
Does that sound familiar?
Wow.
How many I will statements are in the Passover Seder?
I will. If you ain't done it, baby, you're going to do it. And don't miss this next one. Don't miss this next one. Keep this Passover.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Don't miss this next one.
I think there are also 6 I wills in the Passover Seder. So according to Blue Letter Bible, I and will occurs 6,002 times in 1,993 verses in the King James Version, including 1,921 exact phrases. Now, that's not always Yehovah saying I will, but that's a pretty strong statement in the Torah and actually in all the scripture. And
something that struck me when I go back and read where Abraham negotiated the purchase of the cave of Machpelah, I read to God, let me give it to you. And I said, now, wait a minute. Why does he have to give Abraham something he's already been given?
Yeah, really.
Abraham owned that, all of it, every bit of it. God gave it to him. He didn't owe him a penny.
Nope.
That was his land already. But being that the ites, love to usurp and steal and take things that don't belong to them,
Mm-hmm.
Abraham was gracious.
Yes, he was.
And it is interesting. It's going to be interesting to hear our Messiah's comment on that scripture when we hear him teach this Torah portion in his kingdom.
That's
Guys,
right.
we're in for a treat and a half. I hope you're excited about that.
Amen.
Because I want to know, sir, why in the world did Abraham have to buy something he already owned? Go ahead, baby.
It really hadn't been given to him yet.
It
did.
I will give this land to you and yours, and man, that included the cave of Machpelah. But go ahead, honey.
So Isaac settled in Gerar, and when the men of the city asked about Rebekah, he said she was his sister, for fear of the men killing him to take her. And just as Abraham and Sarah, Isaac and Rebekah were forced into separation. The bride is sequestered in a type of wilderness, being supernaturally protected from corruption or defilement with the local pagan population.
And we got one coming up for us, ladies and gentlemen.
That's right.
Because we read that to the woman, and this is a woman about which we're talking, is given 2 wings of a great eagle that she might flee into a place prepared for her for 1,203 days.
That's right.
We got some fleeing to do, ladies and gentlemen. I hope y'all know this.
Yeah. And, we've talked about the 5 different levels of Torah understanding, and we always like to see how the Parsha points to Yeshua, right? Well, this is one huge shadow picture of Yeshua. Would you read Genesis?
So Abimelech called Yitzhak and said, "Behold, she is your wife. How then could you say, she is my sister?" Yitzhak said to him, "Because I thought lest I die for her."
Ooh, now, what's that statement again? What did he say? Lest I die for her? What did Yeshua do?
He died for her.
That's right. Yeshua had to die for his bride to redeem her, us,
yes,
from the curse of sin and death that was brought into this world through the fall of Adam and Chava.
Yes.
Wow. So back to this week's Torah portion. Abimelech again becomes fearful of Isaac as he or his descendants was with Abraham.
And they all know how Abraham took 300 of his men and totally obliterated 5 kings.
That's right.
Let's nail it, baby.
That's right.
Let's nail it. They say, who you did? Oh, that guy. Oh, whatever he wants, I'm going to give it to him.
Well, doesn't it also sound like Moses' instructions to the children of Israel as they were about to take the promised land? Would you read Deuteronomy 11:25?
No man shall be able to stand against you. Yehovah, your Elohim, will put the dread of you and the fear of you upon all the land where you tread, just as he has said.
To you, yes.
Ooh,
right.
Baby.
And Deuteronomy 26:11. I think that was supposed to be Genesis, not Deuteronomy.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So Abimelech warned all the people, saying, "Don't you touch that girl. Don't touch her. No.
This man or his wife.
They will surely be put to death."
Talking about anyone who touches
anybody at the house.
Yes. So, but does that happen? No, it doesn't happen. I mean, he makes this warning and he tells them not to mess with them, just leave them alone. But does that happen? No. The men of Philistia, who were the descendants of Japheth, the sons of Noah, became jealous of the success of Isaac and started harassing his servants.
This is where his crop brought back how much more than the other guys?
100%.
Come on, people.
100 times more. Oh, and where have we heard of that very thing happening in Israel today? Gaza just so happens to be the very same geographical area as is discussed in this very Torah portion.
We're right here at the same thing, guys.
Yeah,
This is what is so profound.
it is.
And only when Yeshua rules from Jerusalem will this crap stop.
That's
And
right.
I can't wait.
And what does Ecclesiastes 3:15 say?
That which has been is now. That which is to be has already been. And Yehovah requires that which is past. I hope we're listening.
Again, we're seeing this play out in the Torah portions, this theme of that which has been is now.
Mm-hmm.
And all you got to do is look at the news, and which, as John mentioned in the previous section, people aren't really paying much attention to the mainstream news. But the mainstream news doesn't really tell you what's going on.
No, they don't.
You do have to look to alternative media sources.
They lie. They
find out
obfuscate.
what is really happening over in the land. And again, it's this struggle going between Isaac and Jacob. Isaac and Ishmael, and Jacob and Esau.
Yep.
And it's been going on for 2,000, well, actually,
No,
about 4,000 years
4,000.
now.
Because, guys, this is all setting up for the massive conflict where Yeshua comes and kicks Satan's butt and establishes his kingdom.
That's right.
And the mainstream news media knows it, and they want to do everything in their power to stop it.
Yeah. So, John, would you like to come back in and talk about the Torah portion? I don't know if you were able to listen while we were discussing it, but there's so much in this Torah portion. I mean,
and I live it every day feeding these cats, and I watch these cats trying to usurp we've got a covenant with Chi-Chi. She's a mama cat, and we fed her, and it was our feeding her that all these other mongrels comes up and they try to usurp her.
Yeah, there you are, John.
So I see this Torah portion lived out on my back porch every single day.
Yeah. And our little puppies want to get out there and join them. But
And I tell them puppies, I said, buddy, you don't want to mess with them cats. They got claws that will separate your eyeballs.
Are you there, John?
Yeah, he's there.
I don't know that. Can you hear us? Hello, John.
Well, when I think about the challenges that we,
Oh,
yeah,
man.
can you see here?
Yeah, now we can.
You're
it's a little
spooling pretty
broken.
bad.
It's a little broken.
All right. Yeah.
That's a little better
Something
now.
kicked on in the background on my computer again. So we're going to get through this.
Amen,
Okay.
brother.
So, okay. So yeah, and when I would with you, just the stuff that's going on over there in the Middle East just needs to stop. I mean, we'll be glad when it's all said and done and over with. And, I think one of the things I remember back years ago, who was it? It was Hal Lindsey. Remember Hal Lindsey when I was in high school?
Oh, little Howlands. Yes, sir.
So, and one of the things that he talked about, and of course, I mean, he's a pre-rapture kind of guy and all of that, but, and which, at that point in time, I didn't know any different. I was like, this guy's got his pulse on end time stuff. And I thought it was very interesting. And I learned a lot from it and gleaned from it. And, we see a lot of that in modern Christianity where, evangelical Christianity, where they believe in a pre-trib rapture.
Mhm.
But one of the things he said, in spite of that, main doctrine that he was promoting, was that at the time of the end, that Israel would be hated by all nations.
Yep. And they are.
They are right now.
And I think that's one of the things that we have seen because of the Gaza crisis that's going on. And I have my opinions as to a lot of that, and I even gleaned some more information even this morning, but about all of that. But let me just say this: is that this whole situation, the world has turned against Israel.
Yes.
Because of the Gaza situation.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to necessarily, it's limited to a particular coalition within Israel. And this is where I think all of the escalations that we see within scripture are rooted in it goes all the way back. We know about the struggle between Jacob and Esau and all of that. But what saddens me is that a particular coalition is the one that has escalated the whole problem over there. And keep in mind that when you go all the way back into biblical history, Israel had good kings and they had bad kings.
Yep.
And when they had good kings, it's because they were following Torah. And when they had bad kings, it's because they turned their back on Yahweh. Right. And the destruction came upon Israel. In other words, the world hated Israel. The world came and fought against Israel. And I look at it as like what we see is history continuing to repeat themselves as people, as we see, because of what many on the evangelical side will say, oh, they're doing everything they can to protect themselves by striking out against these other nations: Iran, Syria, Lebanon, Gaza,
Yemen.
Egypt has been holding back, but Egypt has, Yemen. You think about all these enemies of Israel. What does Israel do in the midst of all of this? Well, it's the struggle of the generations. It's the struggle of a memory that will not be forgotten. In fact, one of the things that was brought out was how even now that I think Netanyahu was actually reading a book that blames the destruction of, and it was written by the rabbis, of course, Orthodox rabbis, who wrote it, that he's blaming that has this long memory of the destruction of the Second Temple, blaming it on Rome. And then the book says, well, we know that Rome was destroyed in around the 4th century. We know Constantinople, which was the new Rome, was destroyed. And now the blame is Rome is now Europe. Rome is now Western culture, and so they're Western countries, and so that is now the new enemy, according to a particular Orthodox rabbi. And this is what Netanyahu is reading. And when I think about this cultural struggle, this long history, this long memory, and you think, where's forgiveness in all of this? Whereas, history is still history. What can we now do as nations by where we can get along? There is actually a mindset in the Middle East, and you think, well, Muslims are, the natural enemy of Israel. There's a lot of Muslims now that just simply are tired of the fight and the battle, and they want to move forward and forget about the struggles of history. And you'd have to say, these are the ones that are the more secular Muslims. They don't hold to the radical Islam. And I'm not giving a place to anybody right now. I'm just saying, here's our history, and this is what's going on, because it's given us everything. It leads us to Daniel, Zechariah, Revelation, and all of these prophetic books. Enoch is talked about it. we're going into Jubilees in Walking in Spirit and Truth. It's talking about these struggles that are historical, but ultimately is the enemy has come to kill, steal, and destroy. And he wants to wipe out Jacob. He wants to wipe out all of Israel.
All right.
Yep.
Just looking
And
at
I'm
this
not limited, and I'm not limiting it to the state of Israel today. I'm just saying it's like it's everywhere.
The
Go
whole
ahead.
world.
Sorry.
That's
There's
okay.
lag time because of my computer. I apologize.
Bringing it back to the Torah portion, we see that Abimelech made a covenant of peace with Isaac. But did they obey it? Did they observe
Not
it?
just like this peace treaty that Trump did with Hamas. They didn't no more observe that in Carter's liver bills.
The Hamas has not really embraced this supposed,
and they're never
peace
going
treaty.
to unless you wipe every one of them out, every single one of them.
But that's why I was saying this Torah portion is showing us today's headlines.
Exactly.
I mean, there's a peace treaty supposed to be in place, a covenant of peace, but there is no peace.
No, it's a joke.
Again, it goes back to what I shared on Uncensored a couple of weeks ago. The covenant of peace is a covenant with death.
That's right. And they can't wait. Hamas can't wait to grab their guns and kill more Jews.
That's right.
Really.
Well, they're still doing it. They still are doing it.
And it's true. And so we have to look at it as this is really the prophetic battle that Hasatan actually has to destroy and to wipe out Israel. Because one of the things that Hal Lindsey said in his book was kind of interesting is that and some others have talked about it. If Hasatan can wipe out all of the generations of Israel, then Yeshua, when there's no one to Yeshua back.
Right.
So this is where we're at.
Absolutely.
Is wipe out any remnant so that there's a sea for which Yeshua is being, where people are calling out for his return. That's the bottom line.
That's right.
What was the effect of the Gog-Magog war, Pastor? He says that all the earth may know that I am Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh. Think about it. We're not going to see Judah accept Yeshua until Gog-Magog happens and Yeshua slams Gog-Magog. That's my understanding.
And it's already time to move on to the next segment.
Okay.
Yep. Love everybody. Hope we get to see you next week. We could be a smoking hole by then.
All right. Hey, sorry, I was locked out. So, all right. Shalom. Thank you so much for the Torah portion. We're going to jump on to the other side for the uncensored news. We'll see on that way. Thank you, Eddie and Tammy, for bringing the Torah portion.
Thank you, Pastor.
You're welcome.
Says the
Okay, we're back again, and I hope the feed gets a little bit better for us as we continue on. And all right, so um, news. I'm kind of flustered this morning. The news that we need to talk about is is I think this is this a canary in the coal mine? I, is this something that we need to get on top of now? And what am I talking about? Well, it's about a fracturing among uh, the base of Trump supporters, or we might say a fracturing among MAGA. Maybe it's a fracturing among conservatives. And I think this is one of the biggest attacks that's going on against people right now, or against the against us in the United States. So why am I saying this? And what's a little bit of a background to it? President Trump was elected president of the United States a year ago, and he had a huge, wide support among the population that voted for him, and he pulled in Democrats, he pulled in independents, he pulled in rhinos, he pulled in a lot of different people that would not vote for a Republican, but they voted for him. And why? That people wanted to see a they wanted to see a wrecking ball. There and so and that was part of his campaign promises, is that he had come in and he was going to make some major changes in this government, and he was going to make major changes and destroy the deep state, because finally got a clue. He finally figured out what was going on. In my opinion, it's like President Trump, in the first term, he didn't quite understand the working of the deep state until they went after him personally with all the multiple lawsuits and the warfare. I mean, I heard at one point in time that he had over 100 different lawsuits that in order to try and attempt to bankrupt him, throw him in jail, keep him out of the running from him running for president again. And he overcame all of that. And when he came into office, he said, we're going to make some changes, and we're bringing this great crew of people, and we're going to deal with this deep state issue. And one of the people he brought in was Elon Musk. Remember Elon Musk? And he was and he was heading up Doge, and everybody loved it. He was like, look at all this waste, fraud, and abuse that we're finding in all these organizations, and part of so many good things that President Trump has done since he came into office. And one of it was Doge, and where they identified where even like USAID, which is a department of the State Department, sub-department, and where they were taking all sorts of money, taxpayer money, and then laundering it through all these NGOs, and these NGOs were then going back and paying off Democrat congressmen, paying off a lot of rich people, billionaires, in order to and to continue with the propaganda, the psychological operation against the people, not only the United States, but against the world, to demoralize people in the world, and to actually think, we have the control, and we're going to shut down America. And President Trump ran against all that. He said, no, we're going to make America great again. What is that? It's not just a slogan. He wanted to bring back industry into the United States, bring money back into the United States, because what he was able to ramp up before all of the CV stuff, where it shut down America for a year, and then under the Biden administration, just executive order after executive order, and what Congress was doing with all of that is basically removing the incentive for America to prosper, and cause rampant inflation like never before, shut down the energy markets, all these different things that affect the way you and I live here on an everyday existence. Many people out there living paycheck to paycheck, trying to get by, trying to get those bills paid. Many people living off their credit cards because there's not enough money or income coming in, and finding themselves having their cars repossessed, or having their homes foreclosed on, And President Trump's done a lot to reverse that, open up their energy markets, opening up free trade, bringing in trillions of dollars into the United States. And these are all good things. Doge identifying these things, cutting off the waste, fraud, and abuse. They did pass the big, beautiful bill, which had a lot of things in there that I don't agree with. But in essence, there was a lot of stuff in there that did help and has helped. In terms of getting things turned around. They still need more to do. They need to codify much of what Doge did, because they can only hold back this economic plague against America for so long, where people are abusing taxpayer money. But so there's more to be done. And yet, what have we seen since May, when Elon Musk took an exit? He took an exit. Why? Because of certain people President Trump has trusted around himself, like he did in the first administration, that are not good for America. And what looked like what Doge was doing was going to be good for Main Street, and really calling out a lot of the corporate control of Wall Street, and how this corporate government partnership, which really it takes out the incentive for people to own their own business. It's actually killed a lot of different jobs. And when you look at artificial intelligence, it's killing a lot of American jobs. Even now, a lot of jobs are going away because of artificial intelligence. So these are all concerns, and I think these are legitimate concerns that people are having. And on top of this, then we thought we were going to get somebody good like Kash Patel in there. We thought we were going to get somebody good in there like Pam Bondi, and that they were going to go after the deep state, and they're going to go after the corruption within the FBI and the DOJ, and they were going to actually go after the criminals that have been running these things behind the scenes, the criminals that have wanted civil war, and they're still aiming for civil war in our nation. And because those are still in charge and they've been slow walking, they've almost missed out on opportunities to, like James Comey, to go after him for his criminal. He has his. Let me just say, in my opinion, his criminal abuses, his criminal acts that he did against the American people, in my opinion, and because he still has his day in court and he needs to prove himself not guilty, and the administration needs to prove, or the DOJ needs to prove guilt and all of that. So we know that there's a lot of indictments going on that of these deep state actors. And these are all good things. They're finally coming in, but they almost missed the one on Comey because the statute of limitations running out. But because things are not being done fast enough, the wrecking ball hasn't been severe enough yet, that this whole coalition of people are now fracturing there, and people are now speaking. There's a lot of things talk about evil against Trump, against this administration, against the work that's been going on, and to me, I see this as a deep state psychological operation that is at play. If they can fracture the MAGA coalition, if they can fracture conservatives, if they can even start lawfare against conservative voices that are out there, when they do this, then and take these people offline, where these people don't have a voice any longer, then who is going to be continuing to speak out and hold power accountable? The Trump administration needs to be held accountable. Bondi's DOJ needs to be held accountable. Kash Patel's FBI needs to be held accountable to the things that they were supported for and what they were saying before the election. And here we see a lot of backtracking that's been going on. I have on my screen, I want to show it to you all just here. And this is actually the website is at Infowars.com, and which kind of has a bunch of different headlines. And but it's not just InfoWars. Rasmussen polls have been coming out talking about these fracturing. Unless the Trump administration can get their hands around the situation, the midterm elections are not going to go well. And that's 1 year away, because a lot of people are, and I think a hinting of what will happen in the midterm elections is what we saw in these recent elections, where we see Mondami getting elected and put into office as a communist, a Marxist communist Muslim that's in New York City. We see New Jersey. They have a Democrat governor. We saw a lot of well, not necessarily important elections, but they are important elections where they installed more Democrats, more Marxists, more communists, more Muslims, more into power, which makes it that much more challenging. Now, are these elections legitimate? Did people actually turn on President Trump and MAGA and what needed to be done in order to keep a strong coalition? Or was it more voting machine problems? Is it more manipulation of the voting machines in order to reinstall people that can help put the brakes on what MAGA is doing? I mean, those are some of the thoughts that I have. But ultimately, what I wanted to also mention is not only that Elon Musk and his ousting had to do directly with President Trump's chief of staff, who is a big corporate person who has been bringing in the corporate billionaires next to Trump, and Trump's calling these corporate billionaires who were against him and have always been against him, and he's bringing in the enemies into the White House. And that can also be demonstrated by him bringing in Al-Qaeda leader, who is now the president of Syria, into the White House and saying he's a good guy. You know, we need strong men in the Middle East. But wait a minute. He was the one that we sent our troops out to fight against Al-Qaeda. And our servicemen and women gave up their lives in order to fight against Al-Qaeda because of the war on terrorism and all that sort of stuff. And here he's embracing them in the White House. This is really bad optics.
Yes,
the
it
optics
is.
are really bad. And the mainstream media is capitalizing on these things and capitalizing on, and what are people doing? Because people still believe the mainstream media, in spite of how they lied against because of COVID, they lied against because of 9/11, they've lied against because of the USS Liberty going all the way back into the 60s. We have all of these lies. We know these lies, and yet people are saying, but wait a minute, what about this? It's causing the questioning, it's causing a fracturing. And then you have Kash Patel's girlfriend, and this is what it seems to me, I'm just kind of looking at it, who is using Kash Patel's own law firm in Washington, D.C. to go after conservative voices because of defamation. And where many of them are not saying anything about her, but they have had a very strong anti-Israel stance, and a lot of the stuff that we see, very strong anti-Israel stance going on out there because of what's happened in Gaza, the slaughter, the genocide of 50 some odd thousands of people, destruction of their homes, and all of that. Doesn't look at the optics are bad. And I'm saying when the optics are bad, this is not good. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, look what Hamas did to their own people at this signing of this supposed peace treaty. They go out and they murder a lot of their own people because they supposedly had cooperated with Israel during the war. Give me a break. I mean, Hamas is such liars and so
as is the mainstream news media and those attacking Trump.
Yes.
Yeah.
Pastor, you noticed? Have you noticed that all the ones that have supported Trump, the guy that got shot, Craig, he's gone. I just can't. My brain just dumped. Just so many people that supported Trump, they've gone after them and removed them. And Elon Musk was one of them.
Yeah. And that's why it goes back to President Trump's chief of staff. She was the one that instigated, along with others that are close to President Trump. She went after Elon Musk. She and other advisors, President Trump, said, hey, the Epstein files. This is another big thing. They ran on the Epstein files. Kash Patel ran on the Epstein files. Bondi ran on the Epstein files. They're all saying, we're going to reveal it. We're going to show it. We're going to go after the perpetrators. And then what happened is like, oh, they found out, of course, that because the Democrats and Comey had control of those files, they could have brought out anything during the last 4 years
Amen.
under Biden. They could have done that, but they didn't do it. Why? Because
right.
there was nothing in it. But what they did do is they did spike the files just in case it fell into President Trump's administration's hands. They spiked it with stuff to kind of point stuff as if President Trump did something bad. He didn't. He didn't do anything bad. And the Democrats were actually caught in that lie this last week, where they were taking out old emails and then redacting things and giving innuendo that President Trump was still involved in it. But it's because President Trump said, if you keep going after Epstein files and all this stuff, you're not MAGA and you're not part of us. And he alienated because of it created more bad optics by what he said, by trying to dismiss it all and saying, well, you're just not with me and I don't want you with me. And that was like horrible. And it's really affected President Trump's ratings, and it's affected this whole coalition that put him into office. And why? Because the psychological operation that even the close insiders to Trump said, you just need to come out and speak against it and shut it down. And when he did that, it's fractured his base. And this is what is happening. And the Epstein files is part of it. Elon Musk is part of that. And he's even going after, and he's going after Thomas Massey. He's going after MTG, Marjorie Taylor Greene, and calling them traitors and all that sort of stuff. It is an internal fighting. And of course, he's like, I'm doing all this good, and you guys are just pointing out these different things, and let's move on. And yet then he uses the rhetoric, because that's the way he is. That's his personality, is to use very strong rhetoric, but he's using it against his own base and his own people.
Right.
And what people are doing is now the mainstream media is capitalizing on that, because Gateway Pundit actually was talking about, he went after Marjorie Taylor Greene because she went out and said 90% of all these great things that President Trump's doing, and then she offered criticism about some of the things he was doing. And then
criticism,
he can't take it, and he needs that criticism. And so he went after her, and mainstream media is capitalizing on that. But what was not said, and Marjorie Taylor Greene kind of fell into that trap as well. And she came out and spoke against President Trump because she wants to make a bid for the Senate. Well, the polling is 30 points below the Democrat candidate for Senate in for senator in Georgia. 30%. She's behind 30%. President Trump shared that with her. She didn't tell that. In other words, President Trump says, I'm not going to support you in this because you are 30 points behind. It's not good. You're not the right candidate this time around. So she felt like that was a betrayal. And then what's capitalized in is that he's come out and says, I no longer support Marjorie Taylor Greene, and I withdraw my support of her. Well, the support is for her bid for Senate.
Yeah, they don't tell you all that.
Well, where Trump has gone wrong, Pastor, is he has broken what Ronald Reagan used to say was the 11th commandment, that you shall not speak ill against any fellow Republican. And Trump has not abided by that. He's run his big fat mouth, and it's backfiring on him and all of the MAGA party.
Here, and what the problem is that right, and so Thomas Massey is okay, and so President Trump's is been speaking out against Thomas Massey. In fact, he wants him primaried, and he wants Marjorie Taylor Greene primaried, and he's even speaking out against the other senator, the senator from Kentucky, Ron Paul's son,
Rand Paul.
Right. So what are they doing? They're saying there's problems. President Trump, take a different look. So when they vote against against President Trump's coalition. It seems like they're siding with the Democrats. He's upset with that, but they're not listening. He's not listening to them and saying, wait, let's put the brakes on it because there's more to the story. We can't go with this because it's built into it is more deep state power.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where they're saying, stop and take a look at it. We've got to look at some real issues here and not just keep giving in to these things that are hidden in these bills.
You know, this reminds me of Jeroboam and Rehoboam. When Solomon died, when Solomon died and the kingdom was passed on, which one was it? Jeroboam
Jeroboam.
Was he in the northern?
Jeroboam.
Well, the one in the south that said he didn't listen to the good advisors that were telling him to relieve some of the stress on the northern 10 tribes. He went with the younger generation that said, be even more strict, more difficult. And that is exactly what we're seeing happen in our in the White House right now. He's listening to the wrong advisors.
I think what is being set up right now, and Trump he's so ill-advised, this Venezuelan thing, the Venezuelan Maduro has signed defense agreements with China and Russia that if we do anything against them, China and Russia is going to hit us. And I believe this, to me, appears to be setting up the Revelation statement in 1 hour. Yes. Your judgment is come. And this is a danger you're preaching about, Pastor. This is exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah. Like, for example, with the tariffs that the Supreme Court just heard the arguments this last week on is, can President Trump levy tariffs against other nations? And does he have the power to do that? Well, Congress gave the executive branch the power to do levies. And what levies is to, every country has tariffs, and every country has tariffs in order to protect their own country. But what President Trump started to do, and this is where he got into hot water, and Robert Barnes, great constitutional attorney, has warned President Trump, look, stop doing punitive tariffs because it's going to backfire on you. And so the concern is that the Supreme Court's going to rule against President Trump on the tariffs. That means every one of these tariffs are going to have to be walked back. And he's not going to, and then it's going to have to go through Congress to levy the tariffs. And we know how fractured Congress is right now, that no tariffs are going to get passed. Yeah. And it's going to take about 3 years for it to work itself out. So, but nevertheless, it's bad. Again, bad optics. It's because you can't just be firing off stuff in order to assert such dominance.
Well, that Trump has backed off on
it becomes to be an Achilles heel, and I think that's really what President Trump isn't understanding, because it's not just the mainstream media that's speaking out against him and using these things against him, but that's where the conservative voices are saying, and these are the ones that are affecting millions more. And influencing them against MAGA.
Exactly.
And he has backed off on some of the tariffs on the food items. He did say that he was removing
and there
them.
Again, he had bad counsel. He had bad, because there were those that want to destroy him within his own circle, and he doesn't have enough gumption to get him out of there. Yeah, the bad apples.
Well,
who is the ultimate deep state?
Yeah.
Right.
Bad traders.
So he needs to get. So, in my opinion, Susie Wiles she's the chief of staff. She needs to be gone. She needs to be pulled out. This other guy, the one that's the Treasury Secretary, Bassett. Yeah. He has a very close relationship with George Soros.
Oh, brother.
Yeah. So there's these people, and then he's bringing the optics of Borland coming into the office of Pfizer, and then Bill Gates coming into the Oval Office, and all of these. It's really bad optics. And what people are doing, and they feel like the average person is feeling like they're being left out, and it's now the billionaire class is now influencing again, and everybody else is going to have to pay the price for it.
There you go. And you're right. They're right, John. They are right,
yeah.
Unfortunately.
So this is what we need to be praying for President Trump, that he sees now. Alex Jones, Roger Stone, and many others are now speaking to him, and they're trying to get that word to him. And so hopefully this week we'll even start seeing some of the reversal on things, that he'll start to we're running out of time, but that the rhetoric will at least soften, and maybe with them now saying, now release the Epstein files. Now it's President Trump is reversing that. Maybe he can get this coalition back. There's not much time left before the midterm elections, before the primaries start. So
that's right.
No.
So this is where we're at, and I wanted to bring that to.
And we've seen the disaster that the Mamdani vote indicates hovers on the horizon. Because if we have something like that here, we're gone.
Yep. All right. So those are some of my thoughts today. These are some of my concerns. I wanted to bring it up for our discussion today. Appreciate it. Thank you so much for being part of the show, Eddie, Tammy, and thank you for bringing the Torah portion. And
we got a lot
for everybody.
Yeah.
Okay. We got to go. We'll see y'all. Love you.
If you missed today's show or want to watch it again, or want to tell someone where they can watch this episode, go to lamnetwork.tv, where you will find this show and all the other live Lamb show archives in the on-demand section of the website. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to tell someone about the Messianic Lamb Network.
Should be white as snow, white as snow, white wool.
We are richly blessed to bring you what we believe is the fullest, most diverse, and yet up-to-date progressive teachings, discussions, and prayer programming you can find anywhere on this planet. Be sure to take the tour of the lamnetwork.tv website. I'm Tammy Johnson, thanking you for joining us on the Messianic Lamb Video Network.